So, ladies and gents, let's talk about old returning characters coming back for their one final send-off. Now, this article is very specifically about Michael Keaton's portrayal as Batman, and the Flash director saying it goes against the expectations of the audience. Now that, in and unto itself, not a bad thing, but it's the other elements that they say, or the director says, moving forwards, that makes me go, okay, it sounds an awful lot like what we're doing is we're going to not sort of, pick up where we left off. We're going to find a broken, beaten down Batman. And then we're going to end where we previously ended. I.e., he's going to go through the same character arc and end up being Batman again come the end of the movie. That's what it sounds like to me. And this is actually something which writers do often and have done recently very, very, very prominently. Indiana Jones, for instance, the new film. At the end of the last film, he was happily married to Marion. He was all going off on his merry way, good times, walking off into the sunset. The new Indiana Jones film undoes all of that at the start of the film. Undoes it all. But then we finish the film where we finished the last film. So no actual character progression or character arc. All writers are doing currently is undoing everything which the previous writer had done to then redo everything that the previous writer had done. It's very, very lazy. And it seems to be what these Hollywood writers do often. The deconstruction. And they call that a character arc. Basically, undoing everything that a previous writer did for the character, only to then end up in the same position that the previous writer had put them in at the end of that film. It's very, very pathetic, and it seems to be prevalent in Hollywood more and more. And it's very, very lazy. Now, what made me say that and what's making me do this video? Well, this as a headline caught my eye. The Flash director says Michael Keaton's portrayal as Batman goes against the expectations of the audience. Now, that's not a good thing if your primary marketing character is Michael Keaton's Batman. And the audience are mainly looking forward to seeing him back, is it, really? And that's not good if it goes against the expectations of the audience. I'm sure you will all agree. So let's take a look at this. The Flash director, Andy Muschietti, recently detailed that Michael Keaton's Batman in the upcoming film goes against the expectations of the audience. Now that in and unto itself, look, it's not inherently bad. It is bad when that's your primary marketing tool, though. And people will be expecting a certain thing. But let's see what he says. So in an interview with Fandango, Eric Davies asked both Andy Muschietti and his wife Barbara, speaking of the Batman stuff and Michael Keaton is the Batman I grew up with. He's my Batman. In terms of getting Michael Keaton into this film, did we have any specific requests? Did he say, yeah, I'll play Batman for you, but X, Y, or Z has to happen? Which makes sense because we had that notoriously with Patrick Stewart recently when it comes to playing Jean-Luc Picard. So Andy Muschietti responded, he didn't have to. From the beginning, I was very, very clear about my intention to open the conversation to his thoughts and ideas, and we did. And we did talk a lot. And the main focus is how do we find Bruce Wayne 30 years after the last time the audience saw him. So that was the matter of most of the conversations, he explained. So this is what I mean. 30 years, Michael Keaton. What's he going to be doing now? Oh, let me guess. Old, haggard, weathered, given up his cape, doesn't really want to be Batman anymore. He's disenfranchised. I mean, this stuff writes itself. It's so, like, we know this. It's a dime a dozen. And we finally agreed on what it is. I really wanted a Bruce Wayne that goes against the expectations of the audience. In my opinion, he shouldn't be the same way that we saw him for the last time. Now, I agree with that, but I bet you anything he'll end up in the same position as we saw him last time, because that's laziness from Hollywood writers currently. And also for me, it's very important to provide a possibility for transformation during our movie. So you're just going to undo everything. I bet, look, this stuff writes itself. He's going to be old, weathered, haggard, disenfranchised with crime fighting, hasn't done it for a little while, can't really be bothered anymore, and then boom, Barry Allen will inspire him to become Batman once more. I bet you that's what happens. And that's why I advocated and finally agreed with Michael that we should find Bruce the way we find him. Let me guess. disenfranchised with crime fighting, doesn't really want to do it anymore. Yeah, of course. Muschietti was then asked if he thought about other actors who played Batman. He responded, the idea of Batman as such an integral part of this story is something that started growing up and becoming stronger and stronger as we worked with Christina Hodson on the story. I think Batman became stronger as an idea. And also because you can't sell the movie on Ezra Miller's Flash. And also the idea of portraying Affleck's Batman as a strong companion, as a strong ally and father figure of Barry at the beginning of the movie, just to set up something and then subvert them with the operation of the other Batman. There you go. Subverting. We're going to subvert the expectations with lazy writing. But Keaton was essential. We could not have made this movie without him. It's a universe that is around his Batman. Sure. Fine. Fine. Whatever. Fine. Barry can coax a very different Batman out of retirement. Yep, there you go. There you go, guys. Laziness. And this is the problem with modern writing. When we have these characters come back, the character development is undo everything that has previously happened, have them fundamentally not the same character. You can have character progression. They don't have to be the same when he's 30 years older. You know, he could retire and have a protege. Like, there's so many better avenues to go down than he's probably... Again, it writes itself. Disenfranchised, can't be bothered. He's got to be asked out of retirement. No. This Batman would be retired, but he would happily come back. He wouldn't have to be coaxed out of retirement. Or he'd have a protege that he enlists instead. There's so many better so many better avenues to go. And this is what we're doing currently with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It's lazy writing. And these people are striking for better pay. Absolute travesty. You're striking for better pay whilst producing substandard work. Basically, let's undo everything the previous writer did, go through the movie and put them back where we previously ended up, and then the audience will be very happy because they get what they expected at the end of the movie. Ridiculous. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. I think they're playing a dangerous game with people. They're marketing the film on Michael Keaton, but they're saying it will go against the expectations of the audience. Not smart. Not smart at all.